Learning English, it can feel like this huge, endless climb sometimes, right? You hit those walls with grammar, tricky pronunciations, and you just feel stuck.
Yeah.
You put in hours, but maybe the progress feels slow. What if, though, there was a smarter way, a faster track to actually sounding fluent?
That's exactly the shift, the really exciting shift we're looking at today. Artificial intelligence, AI, is fundamentally changing how people learn languages.
Oh, so?
It's offering something new, smart, flexible, and really personalized experiences. So our mission here is to unpack how AI can make learning English easier, faster, and honestly just more accessible for you wherever you are on that journey.
And we've dug into quite a bit of research for this deep dive, some really eye-opening stuff, actually. We're talking surprising ways AI is boosting everything from your speaking to your reading, really practical tools for everyone, whether you're just, starting out or trying to polish those advanced skills.
Yeah.
So let's jump in. What's the core promise here? How does AI fundamentally change English learning? Okay, so let's break down why AI is such a game changer. It's not just like new software, is it? It feels like a whole different philosophy.
It really is. And what's fascinating is how it tackles those classic language learning frustrations head on. So first up, personalized learning.
Okay.
This is where it gets really interesting. Forget the one-size-fits-all approach of old textbooks or, generic apps. AI actually adapts to your specific needs. It tracks how you're doing in real time.
So if I'm bad at, say, past tense.
Exactly. If you keep mixing up verb tenses or you're struggling with pronouncing a certain sound, the system notices, and it automatically gives you more practice right in that area. It's about learning smarter, not just harder. It's tailored to your level, your speed. It's almost like having a tutor who knows exactly where you need help.
That sounds incredibly efficient. So you're not wasting time reviewing stuff you already know.
Precisely. And that leads right into the next big advantage, instant feedback. Think about it. Getting corrected right away, the moment you make a mistake. Usually you wait for a teacher, maybe days later, right?
Right, and you might have forgotten the context by then.
Exactly. With AI, you get immediate corrections, suggestions for improvement. Some speech recognition tools can pinpoint exactly which sound or word needs work, down to the specific phone.
Wow.
And grammar checkers. They don't just flag an error. Often they explain why it's wrong. That helps you understand and avoid making the same mistake again. You build accuracy and confidence much faster. That feedback loop is just so much shorter.
Makes sense.
And this next one, it's huge. Accessible speaking practice. Speaking is often the biggest hurdle, isn't it?
Definitely. Finding people to practice with, getting over the embarrassment.
Totally. AI tackles this with virtual tutors, chatbots, conversation simulations. And they're available 24/7.
Anytime.
Anytime. They mimic real conversations, ask follow-up questions, respond naturally. And crucially, you can practice without feeling judged. That fear of making mistakes in front of someone, it pretty much disappears.
That's massive, just being able to try things out without that pressure.
It's a huge psychological boost. And it connects to the idea of creating immersive environments. Learning shouldn't be boring rote memorization.
Right.
AI apps use games, storytelling, realistic scenarios to make practice engaging. Imagine role-playing a job interview in English.
Oh, cool.
Or interactive stories where your choices matter. Or even virtual tours where you have to ask for directions in English. It's not just about rules. It's about using the language to think, react, communicate.
Getting you to actually think in English.
Exactly. And finally, maybe the biggest practical advantage, unmatched convenience.
The anytime, anywhere factor.
Yep. Mobile apps, web tools. You can practice at home on your commute during a coffee break. No scheduling, no waiting. Your AI tutor is always ready. And that flexibility helps you stay consistent. And consistency, as we know, is absolutely critical for language learning.
So, putting it all together, what does this actually mean for you, the listener? It means English learning can be way more efficient, much more interactive, and truly personalized. It breaks down those old barriers, time, cost, finding practice partners. It makes real improvement possible for pretty much anyone with a phone and internet. It almost sounds, well, a bit too easy. Is there a downside? Does relying on AI maybe, I don't know, lessen the human element?
That's a really important question. And yeah, AI tools are just that, tools. Incredibly powerful ones, for sure.
Right.
They cut out a lot of the friction, speed things up immensely. But the learner still has to put in the work, the commitment. And no, they don't completely replace the richness of real human chat, but they prepare you so much better for it. Think of AI as your superpowered training gym before you hit the real playing field.
Okay, that's a good way to put it, a training ground.
Exactly. So let's connect these promises to the specifics. How does AI actually boost each key English skill?
Yeah, let's dive into that because supercharges sounds great, but what does it look like for, say, speaking or listening or even tricky grammar? Let's start with speaking.
Okay.
That's the big one for many people.
Overcoming the fear and finding your voice.
Right. Speaking. Often the toughest, but also the most essential skill, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. You can read loads, but still freeze up when you need to actually talk.
Exactly. Limited exposure, no practice partners, or just that fear of sounding silly. AI really shines here. It gives you guided practice, feedback right when you need it, and those conversation simulations, all without judgment.
I'm really interested in how it tackles that fear aspect.
Yeah.
What are some tools doing this well?
Well, we found some really neat ones, like the ELO AI tutor. It offers real-time voice chats with a surprisingly realistic virtual tutor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it asks questions, corrects your answers as you go. Great for building fluency and even listening skills while you're speaking.
Okay.
Then there's Speak, which is backed by OpenAI. It coaches conversational skills, evaluates how you sound, points out common mistakes, and tracks your progress. That's really motivating, seeing your fluency improve. TalkPal AI, built on GPT-4, gives you unlimited chats, text, or voice with what feels like a friendly native speaker. And it supports different accents, American, British, Australian, very low pressure.
Nice.
And for nailing the sounds, Elsa Speak is probably one of the most advanced out there. It uses AI voice recognition to pinpoint exactly which sounds you're messing up, maybe that th sound or your intonation, and gives you specific exercises to fix just that.
Wow, that's granular.
It is. Pro tip here, practice every day. Seriously, even just 10 or 15 minutes with one of these AI tutors makes a difference.
All right.
Record yourself, listen back, let the AI give feedback. Remember, the AI doesn't care if you stumble. It's the perfect patient partner.
Tuning your ear to native English.
Okay, next up, listening. So crucial for actual communication, right? But understanding fast, natural speech, especially with accents or slang, that can be tough.
It absolutely can. And AI tools are fantastic here because they expose you to real spoken English, not just textbook dialogues. They train your ear and build comprehension, but at your speed. It turns listening from passive to active.
I like that, active listening. What tools help with that?
Some clever ones.
Ah.
Youglish, for instance. You type a word or phrase, and it instantly finds YouTube clips where native speakers use that exact word or phrase. Hundreds of examples, all sorts of accents, real context. It's brilliant.
That is clever, like a living dictionary.
Kind of. Then FluentU takes real videos, music clips, news, trailers, and turns them into lessons. You get interactive subtitles, translations, vocab help. Click any word, get the meaning, examples, hear it pronounced.
Very interactive.
LinkU is great too. You can import audio like podcasts, audiobooks, and it creates interactive lessons with transcripts. It tracks words, gives definitions for ones you don't. And here's a neat trick. Combine podcast with AI summaries. Listen to a podcast, grab the transcript, paste it into something like Claude AI or ChatGPT.
And ask it to.
Ask for a summary, key vocabulary, maybe even some comprehension questions based on the content. A great way to check understanding.
Smart.
It's a pro tip for listening. Start with subtitles if you need them. Connect the sounds to the words, but try to gradually turn them off as you get better.
Why is that?
It forces your brain to rely more on the sound, the context, the tone, just like in real life. It really sharpens your natural listening skills.
Building comprehension and expanding your world.
Okay, reading. Essential for vocab, grammar, just understanding how sentences work. But staring at a page full of unknown words can be really daunting.
Definitely. And AI changes reading from maybe a passive, sometimes frustrating task into something really interactive. It gives you instant help with definitions, translations, even suggests things to read based on your level. It makes harder texts feel reachable.
So it breaks down that difficulty barrier. What tools are good for this?
LinkU comes up again here. You import articles, books, whatever. It highlights words it thinks you don't know, tap a word, get the meaning, hear it said, save it to study later. Super smooth.
Seamless help.
Yeah. Readlang is a web tool, works similarly for websites or articles online. Click any word or phrase, get an instant translation, save it as a flashcard. Very handy. For beginners, News in Levels is brilliant. It takes real news stories, but rewrites them at 3 levels: beginner, intermediate, advanced, same story, simpler vocabulary.
Oh, that's great for building confidence.
Totally. And Rewordify is cool too. Paste in any English text, and it automatically simplifies difficult words and sentences to match your level. It even highlights the words it changed so you learn them.
So you can tackle more complex stuff sooner.
Exactly. Pro tip for reading. Read stuff you actually like. Use the AI tools to help you understand it, but choose topics that interest you. Start short, maybe articles or even kids' books, then build up. Engagement is key.
Expressing yourself clearly and confidently.
All right. Writing. This is where your knowledge really shows, right? Your ability to communicate clearly. But the challenges, grammar mistakes, finding the right words, just feeling confident.
Huge challenges. But AI writing tools are like having a personal editor looking over your shoulder 24/7.
An editor who doesn't charge by the hour.
Exactly. They help with everything. Grammar checks, suggesting better words, improving your style, even giving feedback on clarity.
These tools sound almost essential now. Which ones stand out?
Well, Grammarly is probably the best known. It checks spelling, grammar, punctuation, clarity, even tone, all in real time. And crucially, it explains the corrections, so you actually learn why something was wrong.
That why is important.
Definitely. Quillbot is another great one. It's fantastic for paraphrasing, helps you rewrite sentences to sound more natural, professional. It also does grammar checks and has a summarizer built in.
Useful.
And then there's ChatGPT. You use it like a writing coach. Ask it to help draft an email, explain a grammar point, rewrite a clunky sentence, or just review your writing and give detailed feedback.
So versatile.
Very. And for a more formal assessment, Write and Improve by Cambridge. You submit writing, and the AI scores it based on official scales, like the CEFR levels is the standard European framework. It shows your mistakes and suggests how to improve.
That's helpful for tracking progress against benchmarks.
Absolutely. Pro tip for writing. Try to write a little bit every day, even just a paragraph about your day, then use these AI tools. Check grammar. Maybe ask Quillbot for alternative phrasing. See if ChatGPT has vocabulary suggestions. You'll see your writing get clearer and your word choice improve really quickly.
Building the foundation of expression.
Vocabulary. Okay, the building blocks, right? You can't express much without words, but memorizing lists. So boring and often doesn't stick.
So true. Traditional memorization is often really inefficient. AI tools change this completely. They use smart techniques like spaced repetition.
The algorithm that shows you a word just before you forget it.
Exactly. That plus smart flashcards, and crucially, showing words in real-world context. It helps you not just remember words, but understand when and how to actually use them correctly.
That context piece feels key. What tools leverage these techniques?
Okay, so Anki is a famous spaced repetition flashcard app. You can supercharge it by using ChatGPT to generate custom flashcards based on books you're reading or articles on topics you like.
Personalized flashcards. Nice.
Quizlet AI is similar flashcards, spaced repetition, but it adds games, quizzes, voice features. It tracks what you struggle with and focuses on those words. Makes it more engaging.
Gamification helps.
It does. Memrise is interesting because it uses videos of real native speakers using the vocabulary in short clips. So you see and hear the words in natural situations.
Real context again.
Yep. And Rewordify, which we mentioned for reading, also helps here. By simplifying text, it lets you see trickier words replaced with easier synonyms, helping you learn the new word's meaning right there in the sentence.
Learning passively while reading.
Kind of, yeah. Pro tip for vocab. Learn words in context. Ditch the isolated lists. Read things, watch things, listen to things. Note down new words you encounter. Then use AI tools to get definitions, examples, maybe even generate practice sentences. And then try to use those new words yourself.
Structure your communication with precision.
Grammar. The skeleton, the structure, so important, but oh boy, can it feel complicated and, let's be honest, a bit dry when you just study rules.
It really can. Rule books can be intimidating. AI grammar tools make it much more practical. They give you real-time checks as you write, personalized feedback, and explanations that are actually easy to understand. You learn grammar by doing and seeing your mistakes corrected.
Less theory, more practice. What tools are good for this?
Grammarly AI, again, is excellent here. It goes way beyond basic spell check. It catches subtle grammar errors, punctuation issues, awkward phrasing, clarity problems, and it explains why it's suggesting a change. That's the learning part.
Understanding the why, yep.
ChatGPT is fantastic as a grammar tutor on demand. Ask it anything. When do I use the present perfect continuous? What's the difference between affect and effect? It gives clear explanations, examples, even quizzes if you ask. You can also just paste your writing and ask for corrections.
Like a patient teacher.
Exactly. Sentence Master AI is more focused. It gives you exercises specifically designed to help you build correct sentences and fix common grammar mistakes through practice.
Targeted exercises.
And Write and Improve by Cambridge, which we mentioned for writing, also flags grammar errors and links them to specific CEFR levels, so you know what kind of mistakes you're making relative to proficiency standards.
Okay.
Pro tip for grammar: try to focus on patterns rather than just memorizing abstract rules. Notice how native speakers use tenses or structure sentences in real podcasts or videos. Use AI tools to correct your writing, then really look at the corrections. Why did it change that? Understanding the pattern helps it become intuitive.
Sounding clear and natural.
And finally, pronunciation. So vital for being understood, sounding confident, professional, but often overlooked in traditional learning, isn't it?
Massively overlooked, and yet so important. Poor pronunciation can really hinder communication. The good news is AI has absolutely revolutionized pronunciation training. You can get real-time feedback, detailed voice analysis, personalized corrections, all from your phone. It's like having a voice coach.
A voice coach in your pocket. That sounds amazing. What are the top tools for getting that precise feedback?
Elsa Speak is probably the leader here. It uses really advanced AI and speech recognition. It tells you precisely which sounds you're getting wrong, maybe vowel sounds, consonant clusters, intonation.
Wow.
It gives audio models, phonetic breakdowns. You can even pick an accent like American or British to aim for.
Get retargeted.
Extremely. Speechling is another great one. You record yourself repeating sentences spoken by natives. Then you compare your recording and it gives feedback on rhythm, intonation, stress, how natural you sound. Great for flow.
Mimicking native speakers.
Exactly. And even simpler. Google has built-in pronunciation tools now. Search how to pronounce whatever word. Listen, record yourself right there in the search results and compare. Fast, free, easy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really handy. And even Duolingo now includes more sophisticated speech recognition in its lessons, checking your pronunciation, tone, and rhythm.
So it's becoming more common.
Definitely. Pro tip for pronunciation. Daily practice, 10-15 minutes. Focus especially on sounds that don't exist in your first language, that again, maybe certain vowel sounds.
Yeah.
Listen carefully to native speakers. Record yourself, compare, repeat, and try shadowing, repeating what a native speaker says right after them, trying to match their speed, rhythm, and intonation. It really helps internalize natural speech patterns. Outro.
Wow. Okay, so this deep dive really shows that learning English doesn't have to be that slow, sometimes painful process anymore.
Not at all.
AI tools offer this incredibly complete, personalized learning experience right in your pocket. It really feels like a shift in how we can approach language learning.
Yeah, you don't have to study in isolation anymore or just guess if you're actually getting better.
Right.
These AI apps act like smart personal tutors. They're there 24/7, catching mistakes, tracking every little bit of progress, and pushing you forward at a pace that's right for you. They take away so many of those old frustrations.
The key thing, though, seems to be actually using them to start.
Absolutely.
Pick one or two tools that seem right for your goals and just commit to, say, 15 or 30 minutes a day. Have a quick chat with an AI tutor. Read an article with that instant vocab help. Write a quick email and let Grammarly check it.
Every little bit counts.
The more you actually use English actively, the faster you'll improve. And with AI, you've always got that support, that instant feedback loop.
Yeah.
You're not really alone.
Exactly. So thinking about all these possibilities, what's the one area of English you feel AI could unlock for you first? That's speaking confidence, nailing pronunciation. What's your first target?
We really hope this deep dive is giving you some ideas, maybe some inspiration, to take that first smart step, that first click towards your own English fluency goals.